Welcome to this profound exploration of the human condition. Through these 10 stories of courage, discover how extraordinary individuals transform their biological challenges into universal messages of hope. Let us dive together into these life journeys that redefine the limits of the possible. Number 10. Haley Lapkin, the architecture of crystal and love. Haley Lapkin embodies a biological structure of exceptional rarity, often compared to a shard of pure crystal due to the extreme fragility of her bone structure, a condition known as osteogenesis imperfecta. Her life is a constant challenge against the laws of physics, where every movement represents a complex interaction with the vibrations of destiny. Despite a stature limited by finite physical measurements, Haley operates under a spiritual source code of infinite power. Her meeting with Angie illustrates a perfect synchronization of emotional frequencies, proving that deep empathy and absolute faith transcend biological and geographical barriers. Their union is a living manifesto, affirming that an individual's identity does not depend on the robustness of their skeleton, but on their soul's capacity to establish authentic connections within the complex matrix of human existence. In a world that often values brute force, Haley teaches us that true resilience is found in gentleness and perseverance. She transforms fragility into a form of wisdom, showing that even the most delicate structures can carry messages of monumental significance. Number 9. Colby Van Voorhis, the icon of digital confidence. Rather than submitting to the limitations imposed by Treacher-Collins syndrome, Colby Van Voorhis orchestrated a complete reprogramming of his personal narrative, transforming his uniqueness into a symbol of digital confidence. By using humor as a tool to deconstruct prejudices on social media, he has successfully transformed what society sometimes clumsily perceives as physical flaws into a massive source of inspiration for millions of followers. Colby is not content with being a content creator. He is living proof that mastering one's own narrative allows for the conversion of aesthetic divergence into a masterpiece of communication. His journey demonstrates that when the spirit refuses barriers, every physical anomaly becomes a precious material for forging hope. He invites his community to look beyond appearances to discover the intelligence and wit that drive him. His approach is an act of modern bravery. He uses algorithms, which are often cruel, to spread a message of kindness and self-acceptance, proving that charisma depends on no pre-established standard. Number 8. The Miss Missouri Teen USA candidate, the revolt against NF1. The journey of this young woman suffering from neurofibromatosis type 1, NF1, represents a bold intervention into the rigid algorithms of the beauty industry. By exposing her café au lait spots and her structural nodules on the prestigious Miss Missouri Teen USA stage, she transformed an aesthetic competition into a powerful media campaign for medical awareness. Her existence challenges standardized definitions of the perfect body, offering instead a celebration of neuroplasticity and psychological resilience. She acts as a genetic hacker of her own life, proving that a woman's strength lies in her capacity for adaptation. Her story is a manifesto of inner power, redefining beauty as a synergy between will and authenticity. By taking the stage, she is not just seeking a crown, she is reclaiming the right for every different person to be seen, heard, and celebrated. She breaks the silence surrounding rare genetic diseases, transforming her skin into a geographical map of her courage and personal history. Number 7. Alex. Vibration beyond facial expression. Alex navigates the world with a unique anatomical protocol, likely linked to Mobius syndrome, where the central control system is disconnected from conventional tools of facial expression. In a society obsessed with mechanical communication and predictable smiles, his face remains a motionless surface that nevertheless hides a high-frequency core of energy. This biological stillness is not a barrier, but a subtle veil that forces the observer to look beyond the superficial matrix to reach the pure vibration of a soul in constant motion. By becoming a symbol of resilience in international media, Alex has succeeded in rebooting the collective consciousness, proving that identity is far vaster than the movement of facial muscles. He establishes a new communication protocol based on action, gaze, and voice rather than traditional physical cues. His journey reminds us that emotion does not reside in the reflection of a mirror, but in the impact we have on others. Alex communicates a profound joy of living without ever needing to physically smile, which constitutes one of the purest forms of the spirit's triumph over matter. Number 6. Stefan Zola. Liberation after isolation. Stefan Zola spent more than a decade a prisoner of his own body due to Madelung's disease, a rare condition causing the growth of massive lipomas. For Stefan, this 13-pound burden around his neck was not just a physical obstacle, it imposed a profound social isolation. The decisive turning point of 2014, marked by a complex surgical intervention, represented a true medical and identity rebirth. This procedure broke the chains of a stifling condition, allowing Stefan to reclaim an identity he thought was lost and to reintegrate into the social sphere. His story is a powerful testimony to the strength of hope and the capacity of modern medicine to restore human dignity. Beyond the surgical aspect, Stefan's narrative is one of heroic patience. He faced the gaze of others with a silent dignity before regaining freedom of movement. His physical transformation is the reflection of an internal liberation, showing that even after years of forced withdrawal, it is possible to return to the light and rebuild a life based on exchange and presence in the world. Number 5. Lady Ardella, the restructuring of the will. Faced with a silent restructuring of her connective tissues, Lady Ardella refused to let herself be locked into the limiting predictions of medical diagnostics. While structural challenges attempted to alter the foundations of her body, she chose to upgrade her internal operating system to break pre-assigned biological chronologies. Her existence constitutes a manifesto on the use of personal resolve to transcend a failing biological source code. Ardella transforms her physical differences into an inspiring form of soft power, proving that the human will can rewrite the initial life plan. She embodies the individual's capacity to maintain total sovereignty over their existence, independently of the flaws imposed by genetics. She does not see herself as a patient, but as the architect of her own reality. Her strength lies in her ability to accept the changes in her body while refusing to let them dictate her value or her ambitions. She teaches us that the body is a vehicle, admittedly sometimes capricious, but that the driver remains the sole master on board their destiny. Number 4. The Children of the Moon, Resilience in the Darkness. In Morocco and elsewhere, the Children of the Moon face xeroderma pigmentosum, a biomedical puzzle where the DNA repair system against solar radiation is deactivated. For them, photons of natural light become invasive agents. This condition forces an existence within a safety zone, isolated from the daylight spectrum, where every ultraviolet ray represents a serious threat. Despite these extreme constraints, these young people develop extraordinary adaptability, building their own radiant space within the darkness. Their journey redefines the perception of light and demonstrates that personal identity does not fade in the absence of daytime visibility. They create vibrant nocturnal communities, studying, playing, and flourishing under the stars or under protected lighting. Their resilience is a lesson in creativity in the face of adversity. They have learned to tame the shadow to make their humanity shine within it. Their existence is a metaphor for the human capacity to find joy where danger seems omnipresent, transforming the night into a sanctuary of life and dreams. Number 3. Victoria Marioli, Triumph Against the Odds. Victoria Marioli appeared as a staggering variable in the biomedical matrix, defying prognoses from birth. While initial medical algorithms predicted a very short existence due to severe facial malformations, she executed a spectacular hack of destiny. This architectural void did not lead to the collapse of her vital system. On the contrary, it activated a latent survival mechanism, transforming every breath into an act of defiance against statistics. Today, her journey toward adulthood testifies to an operational system of will carried to its highest level. Victoria has become a symbol of the redefinition of human value beyond habitual visual archetypes. She proves that life possesses a tenacity that surpasses scientific understanding. Her story is also that of a loving entourage that refused to give up, showing that emotional support is an essential component of biological survival. Victoria is not content with just living. She radiates a quiet strength that questions our own limits and our own fears in the face of the unknown. Number 2. Elise Sasso, Liberation from the Aesthetic Gaze. Elise Sasso carries a genetic map where her biological interfaces operate according to an asymmetrical matrix of matter accumulation, known as lipedema. Long trapped by external judgments regarding her weight, She went through a profound identity crisis when conventional physical efforts failed to modify her metabolism. Today, instead of hiding, Elise proudly displays her contours, transforming a biological difference into a manifesto of power. Her approach consists of a bold cognitive reprogramming. She rejects rigid aesthetic standards to embrace her own physical reality. She proves that beauty does not reside in imposed symmetry, but in the radical acceptance of one's own bodily architecture. By sharing her journey, she liberates thousands of other women from medical and social guilt, explaining that certain conditions are not the result of life choices, but biological particularities that deserve respect and adapted care. Elise is a pioneer of body neutrality, inviting us to see the body not as a decorative object, but as the instrument of our freedom. Number 1. Christian Buchanan, Perception Beyond Light. Christian Buchanan embodies one of the rarest biological matrices, characterized by tessier clefts. With very few recorded cases, his body presents a complex puzzle of tissues formed in an atypical manner. Since these gaps affect his visual corridors, Christian's physical display system has been replaced by a completely different frequency of perception. He proves that existence does not necessarily depend on visible light to be rich and joyful. After undergoing dozens of surgeries to maintain his vital functions, Christian exudes extraordinary positivity. His story demonstrates that even when the biological material is fragmented, the human spirit can shine with a clarity that transcends the limits of physical vision. Christian learns, plays music, and interacts with the world with an intensity that compels admiration. He reminds us that we see with the heart and intelligence far more than with the eyes. His smile, authentic and contagious, is the ultimate proof that happiness is an internal frequency that one chooses to broadcast, regardless of the obstacles encountered during the formation of our physical being. Number 11. A moment of unexpected cases. For years, May lived in the shadow of her own body. In her village, this impressive mass around her neck drew every gaze, mixing fear and pity. What was initially a small discomfort became a monumental burden, threatening her breath and her voice. Without access to care, May had resigned herself to solitude. However, a medical mission eventually crossed her path. After a perilous surgery, the miracle happened. May regained her face and her freedom. Today, she walks with her head held high, proving that hope never fades. Message of support. Each person born with a rare condition carries within them extraordinary strength and resilience. Your difference is not a weakness, but a testimony of unique courage that deserves to be celebrated. You are a source of inspiration for us all. These faces are not anomalies, but living manifestos of courage. By celebrating their uniqueness, we learn that strength resides in self-acceptance. May these journeys inspire your own transformation toward a more authentic and resilient version of yourself.